Hello, I'm Brian,
And I'm Deb.
and we want to welcome
Welcome
you.
to
We
we
want
want
to
to
welcome
welcome
you
you to
to
life
Life
in
in Guatemala.
Guatemala. Oh,
Today we're going to talk about some things that we really like about Guatemala that are different from what we knew when we lived in the United States.
Right.
You know, here uh, you can imagine there's different ways that people do things or different
ideas maybe.
yeah ideas. Anyways,
Yeah, well, we did, if you remember a couple videos ago, we did something called the hazards of living in Guatemala. And we didn't want you to think, wow, why do they stay there if all these things are bad about Guatemala?
and even those they're not super bad, but anyways,
So
these are some things that we
have really
really
come
like.
to like and love.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
And
being here.
if we go back to the States to visit, these are things that it's like, man, I'll be glad to get back home where we can
Because we miss certain niceties.
do these little. Then they're not any really big, huge things. I mean, some are kind of.
Some really aren't, maybe don't even sound like much, but they're little things that we have come accustomed to and really enjoy. And we want to share them. We made a list of about 6, but we expand upon that a little bit during our talk. As far as, for instance,
We might not expand upon it during our talk.
Oh, we might not, but we might. Like,
Okay.
we wouldn't just say delivery is number 1 and be done with it. Because, deliveries are something that's common in the United States. You get things delivered to your house all the time.
So especially with things like Amazon, there's the delivery mentality is going strong in the USA. But when we first started coming here in like 2010 or something like that, and we're driving past McDonald's, and there's all these motorcycles outside, 7, 8, 10 of them that have a McDonald's symbol on a box on the back.
Big delivery box.
What is that? Yeah. And McDonald's for years has been delivering breakfast, lunch, or dinner,
right to your home,
snacks to wherever you are.
And from our area in Michigan, really the only food delivery service at that time was pizza. I mean, they weren't even built up to grocery deliveries yet. They're doing it now, but
right. The one thing though that we really like, because we don't really eat McDonald's all that often, maybe once a month, maybe
that would be a lot, I think.
But there's a lady that comes through our neighborhood, and she has fresh chicken
in a wheelbarrow. She wheels it down the street. Her name's Daisy.
Yeah, in the morning she goes to wherever it is that she buys these chickens, and they're ready for cooking. Basically, right. They're plucked and cleaned and
gutted and
all that stuff. And she goes door to door in our neighborhood and sells chickens. And I like it because she will cut it to how you want it. And I like boneless chicken and sometimes boneless, skinless chicken breast.
She takes her cleaver and she just goes to town right in front of you.
Yep. So you can buy a whole chicken, a half a chicken, a quarter chicken, pieces of chicken, whatever. Debbie tends to get leg quarters and I tend to get the breasts. And
she has a little handheld scale that she uses and puts her little 1 or half pound stones in it, and then the chicken, so she knows about how much chicken you bought, so she knows what to charge. It's kind of interesting and cool all at the same time.
Yep. And it's a good thing, and the price a lot of times her price is cheaper than at the supermarket down the street.
It's really fresh. It's really convenient. If we don't want to walk across the street to one of the markets or go into the mercado or even drive to a supermarket, her coming right to the door just helps. We'll have chicken for lunch or dinner that if we didn't really have a plan, and now it's fresh.
Yep. And she comes twice a week on the same day, about the same time, so you can know when to expect her. So it's just very convenient.
Yeah, and in that same vein, we also have water delivery twice a week right in the neighborhood, which is important here because very few people drink out of the tap water here, including the Guatemalans. You drink filtered water or bottled water. And we do have an eco filter, so we do filter some water, but we still buy a big 5-gallon thing of water and flavored water that I like to drink sometimes.
Yeah, on their truck, the main thing that they're distributing is those 5-gallon jugs of water that fit on a water dispenser. But they also have flavored water, sparkling
water.
Flavored water. So it's kind of like soda pop, but a little healthier, you know.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. They also have some other beverages on there, some kind of fruit drink, something. They have a couple of alcoholic beverages, whatever brand of beer it is that they
I don't know
distribute.
If it's Gallo or Modelo. We don't buy it, so we don't pay attention there.
But they do have that on there, and something else kind of I would equate to wine coolers or something. When he was showing me all the different beverages that he had, I'm like, what are these things? So
it's nice. Those are things that I know you can have a lot of things delivered to you in the States, but these are just really nice conveniences. They go through the neighborhood. They're there the same time about every week, twice a week, and you can count on them. And that's just something you don't have to think about, which really is a little extra convenience here.
Let's move on from the deliveries.
Yeah, we've been rambling on. I know. We've been okay.
Our second point or whatever is gas stations here.
Remember the days, if you're old enough, full service gas stations?
Yep. Yeah. Here, that is the most common.
It's the norm for 95% of the gas stations, probably.
I'm going to say every gas station I've been to here has full service at it, and most of them also have some self-service pumps, but the majority is full serve, and most of the people here use full serve. So if you pull up, you tell them how much gas you want, and then do they want to, check the air in the tires, check the oil, wash the windows, maybe check some other fluid levels if you ask them to. And if you're low on oil, they put it in for you. So full service filling station, gas station.
And the difference in price is usually no more than 1 or 2 Q. Now, to give you an idea, 1 Q is 13 cents equivalent. So if it was a whole 2 Q difference, which very seldom is that big of a difference, I believe, between the full serve and self-serve, you're looking at 26 cents a gallon. So
yeah, it's really not that big of a difference.
And like I said, or like Brian said, they do everything right there for you. I mean, if they have time, if your tank's big enough, they'll wash the front windows, back windows, and side windows too. But,
well, they'll do that. If you say wash all the windows, they will, no matter if you only got a couple gallons of gas. They do it for you.
Yeah. So it's a service thing, which kind of brings us into our next point, is service here. Service in general is really important in the Guatemalan culture, and they want to help you. And if they have a job, they want to do their job. And where, as Americans, sometimes it's different for us. As an example, fast food restaurants, going back to McDonald's as an example, you eat at your table, you have your tray and everything. Sometimes before you're done eating inside, somebody has already come by your table and taken away your tray and stuff like that for you. And if they see you getting up and taking your tray, many times they'll come and get it from you. That's part of their job, and they want to be doing their job. That expectation is not for you to take your tray and put it away. I think in some of the fast food places, it's starting to lean that way a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I would guess, and especially a lot of these fast food places are USA restaurants, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's,
and primarily in the food courts of the
Panda
malls.
Express.
You'll see that.
Now, in the food courts, I do notice that, because there is somebody there that's a mall employee, not a McDonald's employee, but a mall employee, and they're supposed to be maintaining that food court area. So even if you stand up from your table and put your stuff on the tray and take it, there tends to be somebody standing at one of those garbage things, and they will take it from you,
and
scrape the stuff off, maybe wipe the tray off. and put it in a pile.
You know, and it's just little stuff. Like there's some of the fast food restaurants again are moving to the self-serve automatic.
Just McDonald's has that.
Kentucky Fried Chicken had it too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, the one.
Well, we don't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken
that often, but
oh,
on our way to the
right.
city,
Yeah, I bet that new.
But they usually have a worker there helping to teach people how to use that machine, and it helps eliminate the lines at the cash register, and it's just something innate in them. And we've talked about this, I think, a little bit in other videos. Sometimes they're helpful to a fault, you know, and not just in the service industry. Guatemalans want to help. If you ask them where something is or how to get somewhere or something, they're going to find a way to give you directions. And in
whether
the stores,
they know it or
whether they know it or not, they might take you to the wrong place. But like in the stores, grocery store, when I've been in the grocery store and I can't find an item, if I ask somebody, instead of just telling me go down to aisle 12 or aisle 20 or wherever, they will physically walk me, not just to the aisle, but to the item, find it for me, and many times take it off the shelf and hand it to me.
Yeah.
And that's true not just in grocery stores, but you mentioned when you go to, there's a couple of Home Depot style stores
Samaco
here.
or EPA.
Yeah.
Well, heck, even if I go some places, when you walk in, the desk, the checkout is right there when you walk in. And sometimes if you walk in, there'll be 2 or 3 people standing there.
They'll ask you where you.
Yeah, and they say, "Hey, what can we help you with?" And I noticed that at the tool store I really like going to, Konomang, is they will take you right to the item that you whatever you're looking for. So it's very helpful, even though in that situation a lot of times I like to window shop because I'm one of those guys that I could go into Home Depot and just walk around for an hour just looking at things, so.
On our next point, this is something that I don't know that's real common in states, not in our area if it is. If you need something, but you don't want to buy a whole bunch of it, you just need a little bit. If I'm cooking and I run out of eggs, I only need an egg because I'm going to the grocery store tomorrow to get the full thing. I can go down to a small store here called a tienda, just like 50 yards from my house, if that far, and buy 1 egg. If I have a headache and I only have, a little bit of money on me and I'm by the pharmacy, I can get 2 aspirin.
Yeah, that aspirin thing is not, you can do that in the United States too. They'll sell in those convenience things or whatever, a little 2-pack of Tylenol
But you have to go in search of it. It's not a common
thing. That's true. Here
it's common.
Yeah, if you go to the pharmacy, the way the pharmacy, the way they just dispense medicine here is different than in the United States. Here, everything is in prepackaged boxes, and in there's blister packs.
Let's wait until we get into pharmacy. Let's finish our small item thing, and then kind of go into.
Okay, well, I'm still talking about the small item thing, but just the pharmacy, and from here we'll flow into the next.
Well, I just wanted to go back to another example on the buying things a little at a time. You can go to the grocery store. I know you can buy a pepper. You can go to the grocery store and buy. I get all that. But like back to that little store, the little tienda, I had a message on my phone as an example last night. I'm going to the Mercado. What's your order? And we want 2 heads of broccoli. We want a couple of onions and 6 peppers. So now I'm going down to this tienda and I'm buying exactly what I want. And I'm not paying a premium for that. And I don't have to buy everything prepackaged in big packs. And those kind of conveniences are something I don't recall us having in the States.
Yeah, especially, at these 2 little tiendas right here in our condo complex, these people are kind of our friends, Now
we've gotten to know them a little bit.
The one tienda, we don't really hang out with them, but they're super friendly and helpful. And so if they can, if you went down there and said, "Hey, I wanted this," and they say, "Well, we don't have any, but the delivery truck's coming," and you say, "Can you get 2 for me and hold them for me?" They do it for you.
Right.
And if you have the local who knows, convenience store, 7-Eleven or whatever, that person, they may say, okay, but you come back 4 hours later, well, somebody else is working there that's a different shift. And here it's a little family thing. So
and here's another thing that I have found here more often in the States. I'm not saying they don't do this in the States, but if I go down one of these, because we're there a lot, but I've been in tiendas where they don't know me and it's been the same thing, and I'm short by, a few cents or $1 or something, the equivalent of, oh, just bring it back. They say, just bring it back. They'll say, just take it and bring the money back later. And I've had that happen a handful of times.
Really?
Yep.
I've never had that at somebody that I didn't kind of know.
I had that outside one time and I've taken it back.
Okay.
So, I'm not saying every store does that, but the fact that any store does it is kind of a big deal a little bit. There might be some stores where you go regularly. Like if we were at Nearing's, where we used to go all the time in the States, I could have probably taken money back to them. I knew them enough.
Yeah. So. Let's quit rambling about that stuff. I'm itching to finish telling my pharmacy story.
Let's go back into the pharmacy story.
Okay,
here.
so in the United States, especially the behind-the-counter medicines or drugs that they're dispensing to you, they tend to have a big bottle, a bottle of 100, 500, 1,000, and your prescription says they need 30 of these. Well, they'll dump them out in a little tray and count out the 30 and put them in a small bottle. Here, they have boxes, big boxes of some, but they're in blister packs. So if, and that is everything, even what you would consider not behind the counter, but over the counter drug.
Yeah.
Well, it would be the non-prescription things like aspirin. It's all in a blister pack over there. So if you want, instead of going and buying a bottle of 30 or 100 Tylenols, for example,
you have to buy 10 blister packs.
Yeah. It's like, I want 10 blisters of Tylenol.
Yeah. And, the other thing, since we're in pharmacies now, advantage here, some people may call it advantage, some people may not. If I have an ache or a pain and I just don't think it's bad enough to go to the doctor, I can go to the pharmacy, describe what's going on, and the pharmacist will give me their recommendation of a medication. And some people might say, oh, you should go to the doctor. And maybe that's true, maybe it's not. But for me, it's a convenience because more often than not, it has saved me, A, a trip to the doctor, and B, even though it's not expensive, paying for the doctor.
Yeah, well, here's one thing, and we've experienced this even before we left the United States. Sometimes it could be hard to get a doctor's appointment for something. You might end up going to an emergency clinic, so you don't even see your doctor. You're hoping to see any doctor because you think you need a prescription. Whereas here, as long as it's not a narcotic. And right. Narcotics, they require a doctor's prescription. But anything else, if you have a cough, if you have a pain in your stomach or your leg or earache, headache, whatever, you go there and you can talk to them, describe what you have, what you're feeling, maybe if you think you have a fever or not. And that's another thing here. Almost every pharmacy, I believe, they will take your temperature for free. They will take your blood pressure for free. They will check your blood sugar.
I didn't even know that.
And you only have to pay for the cost of the
needle,
the little strip thing
that
it reads in or something. Probably the needle too.
See, I had never had to do that at the pharmacy, so I didn't even know that.
But yeah, like here at the Farmacia Económica, there's a little sign out there. These are our free services. And I've noticed that, where did we used to go to Rite Aid. Now Rite Aids are gone.
They do the blood pressure there.
But or Walgreens, and you see that they might have a little automated blood pressure machine there or something. But here it's a common service for them to do that. So anyways, if you talk to them and they say, well, hey, do you have fever? Well, I don't know. Well, they can take your temperature right there.
On that same vein, in the medical talk, you can, if, like say you have really bad, a common ailment here, even with Guatemalans, is getting parasites. If you accidentally drink some of the water or eat food that wasn't washed properly or something.
Or you eat something and haven't washed your hands first because.
So you can take a fecal sample or a urine sample and go directly to the lab and pay a very small price where they will tell you what's the parasite you have. And now you can go to the pharmacy and say, I have this. What do you have for this?
Yeah, they give you your test results and you take that to the pharmacy and they say, okay, well, this is, you need this antibiotic or you need this anti-parasite medicine, and they give it to you, and you can be a little bit quicker, because if you went to the doctor, you would have the time of the doctor and then they would send you for the fecal exam.
And you can usually get a doctor's appointment pretty quickly here as well, most of the time.
Yeah, it depends on the doctor.
Depends on the problem, the doctor and the problem.
Yeah, and well, like our ophthalmologist, whatever, he's busy. Yeah. I mean, anytime you go to his office,
so that's a little bit different.
Yeah, he's got a full waiting room, so you can't just walk in and say, "Oh, my eye, whatever."
And let's stay right in that medical vein. Another service that we have here, that having been in EMS in my area in Michigan, I know this wasn't available. It might have been available in some parts of the states, but not here, or not where we were from, excuse me. We talked about this in another video also, we pay about $30 a month for an ambulance service that can come up to your house up to 14 times a year. And that service, if you call them, it covers the cost of sending a doctor and a paramedic with a full-scale little mini ER on their ambulance to check out whatever the problem is. And even if it's a visitor to your house, they are covered under the service. And that includes, if you have to go to the hospital, that includes the transport to the hospital. Now, after that, you pay the hospital bills.
No, that is the one we have is through a specific hospital. So if they took you someplace.
No, it's not. The one we have, we chose our hospital, but
Alerta Medica is right through La Paz Hospital.
Yeah, but they'll take you to any hospital that you prefer.
Well, that's something I didn't know that. Yeah. So another side benefit, even though our preferred hospital here is La Paz.
Right.
So
if we wanted to go to La Vida because it was a true emergency and it's the closest, they would take us there.
Okay.
And there's no extra cost. That's part of the program. If the doctor comes and gives a shot of something he has on the ambulance for something, there's no extra cost to that. Now, if he tells you go get some more of that shot at the pharmacy, you pay for that. But we pay $30 a month to
and
have
because
that
person's a doctor, if they say you need this medicine, they write
the
prescription for it. So.
Right. And so these are little things that we have gotten accustomed to, used to. I don't know. There's probably a gazillion more, but then our video would be really, really long.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this as we were thinking about what are some of these things, and we're kind of racking our brains, and it's like, it seems like there's a lot more things, but like we said initially, they're kind of smaller things, so they don't really stick in your mind until you actually go someplace and it's like, oh, we should have had this in our video,
Right.
Because there's many things that are different than USA life.
And everything's not a frustration. Sometimes it's easier to think of what frustrates me because you are frustrated. And so you come up with all this, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then you realize, but I'm still here. Why am I still here? And then you think, wow, this is really convenient. This is really nice. I'm glad we can do this. We laugh about the fact that there's these little tiendas and they all stock pretty much the same thing. And there seem to be so many of them on a street as you're walking. But then you realize the convenience of having so many of them that, you don't have to go very far if all of a sudden we're out on a long walk and one of us says, man, I'd like a bottle of water. We're pretty sure we're going to come up to another one of these tiendas pretty soon. Or you think of something you want to take home that you didn't buy. And it's like, a lot of times they have, because they carry, it's a small grocery store. A lot of times you can't even see everything.
Well,
it's stacked
somewhere. A lot of them, they even have the sign on them that say, we sell the daily use items. Right. So This could be dish soap. It could be laundry soap. It could be toilet paper, napkins, a bunch of snacks. They tend to sell snack foods, right?
A lot of snacks.
Chips, candies.
And your bigger ones have things like soup and sauces and cereal, things like that.
If they have a little refrigerator in there, they might sell cheese or lunch meats or hot dogs or something. But
what's nice here compared to the States, if I go to the convenience store to buy something instead of the supermarket, I'm definitely, I'd say 95% of the time paying a higher price. Very seldom do I pay a higher price here. It's the same price as going to the market.
If you went and bought a pack of toilet paper at our tienda here, if it is higher, it's only like 1 or 2 quetzales higher, which once again is
13
10,
cents,
20, 30 cents. So it's that is a big
added
convenience.
Yeah.
I get it. Very similar to a 7-Eleven in the United States. But can you imagine if there was a 7-Eleven every 30 feet in the neighborhood? That's what we're talking about here. And sometimes even closer, because different people, different families will have tiendas. Sometimes there's a tienda right next door to another one, and they sell basically the same stuff. And
it's just owned by somebody else.
And as we've talked on occasion before, it's like, how can these people stay in business? Because they sell exactly the same stuff, and what would it cause me to go to him versus him?
All this talk made me think of one more thing.
What?
In the States, when you want fresh food, you usually are going to the farmer's market, or you're waiting till in season for one of your county stands to open up on a road. Here, every neighborhood just about has what they call a mercado, where they are selling fresh fruits and vegetables, amongst other things, right there. I mean, because I know we have one just around the corner, and
it's probably a 10-minute walk for us, maybe 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, but there's almost every neighborhood has one of its own, as well as the big one called the Democracia, which I also have a video on. But when we used to go to Spanish school, there was that mercado in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so you can find fresh fruits and vegetables. You don't have to wait and make a special trip to the farmer's market or wait for something to, the roadside stand to open up. They're open all the time. But we have the climate that we have vegetables and fruit all the time.
That's one. There's a few items here that are seasonal. Those little fruits that I like, they're kind of like a plum, I would equate it to, called a guinda here. Those are seasonal.
Yeah.
But other than that, you can get fresh tomatoes, carrots, celery,
pineapples, bananas, watermelon. I mean, most
apples,
of the stuff,
even though there's a lot of imported apples, they do have Guatemalan apples too. But
so that's another thing to love about living here is the availability of some of the fresh foods that on a regular basis.
We never even thought about that on the list, but there's a lot of people that's it. If you watch other videos or something from other people, a lot of them will have this thing is, wow, you get fresh fruits and vegetables here. It kind of, and obviously they think it's different than being able to get them in the United States. So it is
and that brings up another one. Now that we're talking about it, I'm thinking of more. And this is something you may not find this something to love, and we don't do it a lot because we're not closer to the center of town. Is probably some of that reason, but. Street food. If you like some of the street foods that they have here, and if you're careful where you buy it, there is a lot of availability. I mean, they're selling breakfast across the street in front of your wood shop all the time. There's a lady selling a breakfast there.
Yeah.
The esquites that you buy on the corner.
Yeah, I do like those.
There's tortillas all the time, everywhere. You can get tortillas and paches. So there's a lot of foods available that people are just selling, if that's the kind of thing that you like. And so you don't have that option in the States because it's more regulated is a big reason for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of these places that they probably wouldn't even let sell stuff in the States because of all the health department regulations and whatnot. So,
which is another reason it's a good idea that you can get your parasites taken.
Yeah,
if you're not careful, you got to be careful with street food.
I mean, street food can be perfectly safe for you. You just got to be careful, you know,
Right.
who you're buying it from, and just be sure that it looks like that they're clean, that they're hygienic there, and they're not, you know, coughing in their hands and then picking up.
And where is the cart located? How close to the street is it located? Is all the dust and grime and dirt and stuff getting on the meat if they're cooking meat near the street?
Yeah,
you know?
Is it left sitting open?
Right.
You know, or do they cover it?
Is it protected by all that?
Yeah.
Anyway, But so those are the things we enjoy about Guatemala. We wanted to share that with you, and we'll make some more videos about some other things, because there's obviously, as we start to visit more places again, we'll be able to show you some videos of places we're going and places we've been and things that we enjoy, and look forward to more expat chat videos coming up soon. And if all goes well, a video about our new car that we're hoping to get any day. So thanks for watching. If you aren't a member of our channel, please subscribe. If you are, please share, comment, like. We'll take it all. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Have a great day.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.